Hey you guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today we are going to create a 2x6 closure wig on our sewing machine that we have right here. So I know you guys may have seen my other tutorial where I did my blonde wig, and I kind of wanted to give you guys an updated video. So today we are doing a wig on a sewing machine. So let's jump into the So, to start it off, I want to welcome all my new viewers and all of my new subscribers. Yes, I called you guys subscribers already because if you're looking at this video, you should have subscribed already. So, welcoming you guys to my channel, welcoming all my returning viewers to my channel. Please make sure to like this video, and once you're done watching it, share this video, comment on it. Anything that you guys want to see me do, comment in the comment section or even put it in the community comment section. Yes, I have a community comment section that I opened up for my viewers to put anything and everything in it that you want to see me do or that you would like to see more of, all that good stuff. So just make sure after you follow, share, and like this video, you tell your friends about it. Okay? Let's get into it. So today's hair that I will be using is by Scarlett. It is by Scarlett. And the other hair that I used the last time, I believe it was by Empire. It was a 613. Now, any of you guys that have seen me on my channel doing what I do, you know I love red. Yes, I love red. I love matching the eyebrows. I love matching the hair color with the eyebrows. I like doing it all. As you guys can see right now, my hair is blue and the eyebrows is blue. Okay, so y'all know we're gonna be bringing you another tutorial with the eyebrows as well. But we are using some hair that I purchased from my local beauty supply store called Sam's Beauty Warehouse. Um, I was very undecisive on this hair because I normally just buy the pre-packs that have the 3 bundles with the closures just for a quick tutorial, quick do, because I really don't wear wigs like that. But, you know, special occasions coming up, so I just want to make sure that I'm to the point, to the T, looking good. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, so let me get to what's in this box. So I purchased 3 bundles and a closure. I will show you the closure last. You probably already seen it a little bit, but so I went ahead and purchased 3 bundles from Scarlett. I'm gonna throw this box on the floor. So I purchased 3 bundles from Scarlett. I have an 18 inch, a 20 inch, and a 22 inch. Okay, so we are doing this. They said this is a 99J. It looks more of a 530. Yeah, but yeah. So this hair is 12A, 12A grade. It is scarlet, and it says it's 99J, so we're gonna call it 99J, even though it looks like a 530. Okay, so we have our 3 bundles. Now, Scarlett did have a closure that went with these bundles, but I honestly didn't want that much coverage. I think it was a 5x4 or 4x5. I don't need all of that because I already have a hard time keeping myself cooled down. And wigs are hot. They are. I'm just gonna say it. So I didn't need nothing that I had to maintenance all of that. So I just got a small 2x6. Okay. And this is by Scarlett as well. And it is the color 613 and it is a 16 inch. Now you can do an 18, you can do a 20, whatever your preference is. It just gives you more coverage when it's falling down. But I think that I'm going to cut some layers into it falling down, so that's why I didn't really care about how long this was. But yes, I know you guys are probably wondering, why did she buy a 613 and the color's red and she could have just bought the other closure? Like I told you, I don't need all that coverage, less headache. And you guys know I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So we're going to colorize and color tie some stuff and get this closure to the color of these bundles. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So this tutorial will consist of me coloring and bleaching, coloring the hair, bleaching the knots, and then we are going to construct our wig on our sewing machine. Okay? So now let's get into the content. All right, so I know we got into the weave that we'll be using and the closure, but now I want to show you some of the products that we're going to be using to create that full matching effect to our inches. So as I showed you before, we have a 613, a 16-inch by Scarlett, which is a 12A grade hair, which is a good grade of hair extensions. And this is body weight. Now, the other hair that I showed you guys from Scarlett, that was the 99J, that is straight. So we're going to end up turning this either straight or curling it, but it doesn't really matter about the wave as long as the color matches, okay? So some of the things that I will be using to pull off this wig is obviously my dome cap. My wig dome cap here, where you guys see that it is already pre-measured out. I can show you guys how to do that on another tutorial to help you out with measuring your wigs. I did that for making them because you know I sell them. So I have it already pre-measured out. This is a 22-inch dome head, and they have 21, they have 20, they have 23, and I believe they have a 24 if I'm not mistaken. So everybody's head circumference is a different size, so it just goes off that. Okay, so things that we will need to pull off our 99J closure color. I personally like this brand here, and they sell colored powder and different shades and all that type of stuff. So they have some that's specialized for dark color hair, and then they have them for blonde. So this one, I believe this one is for darker hair, but it'll still work with what we're trying to do. So I only need a little bit, so it didn't make no sense for me to go buy a big one. So we are going to be using this. All of the products, the materials, and everything that I use to create this wig, I will definitely put it in the bio section for you guys, so don't worry about it. Now I am going to be using a 20 developer. One thing you guys need to know about developer is this is going to be an easy step. So it's always good to read the instructions on anything that you're using. Yes, it is. But just a quick tip. When you're doing any wig color, you shouldn't be using anything higher than a 40 developer. If you are, it's a wig. I get it. But you should not be using anything higher than a 40 developer on a human. You must hate that human, and we don't want to do that. So this is 20. So just imagine if we had a 10, a 20, a 30, or a 40 developer. Every time that you use this product and you mix it with something, you definitely want to follow the instructions, but you also want to make sure that it matches with the other product that you're using, because they might not work as well with other products, because other products don't work with other products. So be mindful of that. But also, when you're processing your time with your wigs, make sure that, for example, I'm using a 20 developer. So you want to know how long it takes to develop this, you will just add 10 minutes to whatever numbers on the bottom. Think about it. Yeah, it was that easy, right? So 20 developer will take 30 minutes to develop. And it will definitely tell you that on the back. And it's the same thing as if you do 40. 40. You would process that for 50 minutes. So it all really just depends on the shade of the color that you're applying it to and where you're trying to get to, or the level that you're trying to lift it to, okay? So we are going to process our closure after we color it. We're going to color it first. Then we're going to let all that color sit in, and then we're going to bleach the knots, because once I apply that red on here, as you guys can see, the closure is already bleached. But once I apply that red, it's definitely going to seep in a bit. There is a method that we can do to not have that happen. But I feel like going through that method, it still makes it seep through. So we're going to bleach it anyway. So we're going to bleach the knots after I've applied the color to it, okay? So the colors that I will be using today will be, it's a couple of different brands, but I like to mix things. So yeah. So we have our Adore, which is a rich amber. We have our Temptation Kiss, Red Kiss. This is a crimson. This is like, well, it's supposed to be like a 530, but it doesn't look like that when you open it up, obviously. And then we have Mahogany Red, which is also a kiss color. So we're going to be blending these three together, and we're going to get that color that I showed you guys earlier. That's supposed to be a 99J. Next, I want to show you guys the shampoo that I will be using after I color my hair, I bleach my knots. These are one of my go-tos, the Shimmer Light. They have shampoo and conditioner. It's a purple shampoo. It is meant to bring out all the blondes and silvers and basically mellow out all of those yellows that you have in your closures or whatever color hair that you're doing. So when you're taking it from a dark level to a high level, it goes through a change. It brings out some undertone colors that you might not even know that the hair had. And this here, baby, this neutralizes it, makes it stop, makes all of that stuff stop processing, and it gets it back to where it needs to be. So we're going to be using this after our coloring process, okay? You will see all of these products throughout the video, but I just want to give you an introduction now. So if you see me using it, I won't have to say it again. You get me? Okay. Now, the fun part. So every wig that I have done, I always use the standard dome cap. Like you heard me say earlier, I get very hot. I get hot. I think anybody who wears a wig too long gets hot at some point. And with this weather going up and down in Chicago, I want to be prepared. I would prefer to be ready instead of getting ready. Okay, so I normally use this dome cap here, which is a dome cap, spandex dome cap, which is not breathable. It's very stretchable. It's very doable. Don't get me wrong, but it's not breathable. So, me being who I am, I love taking field trips to the beauty supply store, and I love checking out different stuff. So today we are going to be using a new one. It may not be new to you, but it's new to me. So I'm introducing y'all to it. So it is a new Guideline sewing cap or dome cap. So it says it on here, premium Guideline dome cap. So this is basically a cap that already has the lines in it, y'all. Do y'all hear what I'm saying to you? Look. So I take it this is already created for a frontal, but we gonna make this baby work for our closure. You hear me? So it's already made for a frontal, and it has the lines on the back. So it is equipped for sew-ins and is equipped for sewing machines. So we're gonna be using the sewing machine, obviously, like I told you guys already. So we are gonna be using this bad baby. We're gonna break this in. Do you guys see that you can see through here? You can see what I'm doing. This is a breathable dome cap, if anybody didn't know. Breathable means that you can get air through it, anything you can get to your scalp, all that good stuff, okay? All right. So we're going to pop this bad baby on this dome cap in a minute. I'm just going to sit it right there for now. And it came off, okay? We're going to sit it there for now. And got something else for you. Hold on. So this is optional. It's optional if you want it to be. But I do have an HD wig cap that I will apply to the little piece that I will be having by my 2x6 just to cover that part. Yeah, I'm going to apply that because when I apply the glue or the lace frontal glue, I want to make sure that I have coverage right there and that it's not on my hair. So I will be applying a little piece of this in there. And then obviously, you know that we have our color bowl, our brush, and all that good stuff to dispute our colors onto our hair. And then we have our sew-in needle because I will be sewing down our closure along with my mini little shears. Okay, so that is everything that we're gonna be using today. I hope you guys took note to everything that I showed you guys because we finna get into this tutorial. I mean it this time. We finna get into it. So let's go. Okay, you guys, so when I do my method of coloring my hair or bleaching my inches, I tend to do a bleach bath or a color bath. And what that is that I get a kettle, fill it with hot steaming water, and I pour it in a container like this one. And either I'm blending my colors together in that water, or I'm blending my developer and my powder in there. So right now we're doing a color bath, and directly apply I will directly apply my developer and lightener cream to the inches once we get done coloring it. So I am about to color this closure. So first thing I want to do is cut the tag off of it. Duh. Cut that off. And when I start blending this water together and stuff, I want you guys to see. I want you guys to see what I'm actually doing because it's like we are going to dip it in, and I'm going to be holding it. I'm going to dip it in to where it's getting somewhat submerged, but I don't want this part to be touched really. I know you like, girl, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to do that, but we're gonna make it happen. You hear me? So one way that you guys can do this, I'm doing it the opposite. I'm doing it the harder way actually. But one way you can do this is get some I've seen people use got to be spray. They spray this down really, really heavy. Make sure that it's dry and matted and all of that good stuff. And then they color it. They color it. So I'm not going to do that because it takes a long, 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 long time. We're just going to do it this way. And then I'm going to go through and bleach the knots anyway. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. Okay. So let me pour the hot water in and all of that good stuff so you guys can see what we're about to do. All right. So our water is done boiling. And now I am in the process of pouring it in here. So I'm going to pour the hot water in. As you guys can see, that is extremely hot. We don't need a lot. We just need enough to cover what we're trying to do, okay? So you don't want to use a lot of water either because that will dilute what you are trying to create, okay? So I think that's enough. So we're using this hot water because you really use it when you're doing developer and stuff because it opens up the cuticle of the hair and it helps the hair lift. But with this being a 613, you don't really need that much lift. This is like almost the highest level you can go to besides platinum. But that method is more used for dark hair. But we are using this to open up these cuticles to put this red in this hair, okay? So now what we're going to do, I'm going to move this out of my way. And we are just going to blend up some stuff. Let me introduce you to my Halloween spoon. This is my color spoon that I use to do all of my color baths. So I'm going to add this color first because this color is very dark. And this is my first time doing this in front of you guys. So I didn't test this color out before today. So whatever we come up with, we're going to have to rock with it, okay? But we're going to try to get as close to that 99J as possible. So we're going to, is this, oh, there it is. It's coming out. I guess let me shake it up a little bit. It's a little hard. I don't know why. Hard coming out. Yeah, that's kind of hard coming out of there. Let me open it up. We're gonna open it up. And you know what? Shame on me, you guys. Shame on me. I'm supposed to have on some gloves. So let me put some gloves on. All right. I'm back with the gloves, okay? We back with the gloves. Now, proceed to open this up. I don't know what was going on with that, but it's a bubble there. Okay, so I think that'll be our dark color. I think that is enough because it's like a brownish, yeah. But the rest, I want to put a lot of red in there. So this is a mahogany red. We're going to do that. Mix that on in there like that. And then we're going to give it a little bit of the crimson. The crimson is like a light red, but it should give it some type of red. Okay, all right. So I'm really playing on this leap of faith with this hair. So we're going to see what we get out of this. Because with this hair being a 613, it doesn't take much to color it. Whatever color you put on it, that's what's going to be on it. So I'm actually thinking about making it a little bit darker. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more of the rich amber in there. Yeah, of course the spoon fell in the water, right? Of course the spoons fell in there. Okay. And then we're going to do a little bit more of this one. Okay. Now, you guys are going to be seeing this as much as I am. So let's pray we got it together, okay? So I am just going to stir this up a little bit, make sure that all of those gel shaped things that I put in this water is doing what it needs to do. And that everything is all nice and smooth and blended together before I dip my inches in this, okay? All right, I'm still stirring. I decided to add some more amber in there because I did a tester with dipping it and it was too light pink, as you guys can see. So we want to make sure that it is red. So, and then we're going to bring our inches over here so we can see what it looks like, okay? Something's telling me to put a little bit of brown in here, just a little bit. But the brown that I have looks more like a black. Okay, so we're going to sit that there. And then we are just going to go in. Now, the thing about this is if I need to add another color to it, darker, I can do so. But y'all ready? Oh, I'm scared. I am scared. Uh-oh. Look at it, y'all. Ah! Dun, dun, dun. Gotta add that soundtrack to it. Y'all, look at it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my Lord. Okay, let's do it. We're dipping it in here. Dip it on in there. Uh-oh, I done got it on the lace. It's okay, because I'm going to bleach it anyway. But go on and dip it. Get it in there. Dip it down in there. Yep, come on. Yep. Okay, so it's in there. Letting it do what it do. I should have put, it looks purple. Jesus. Okay, well, one way to mess up is with you guys, right? Oh, it don't look bad. Just got to get in there. So let's just go and let this do what it do, okay? So we are going to let this soak in there. So we'll leave this in for about probably 30 minutes or so, or till it's my desired color that I want. And then obviously I will wash out the color, wash it out, and oh, that's kind of pretty. You guys see it doing what it do? I'm gonna put it back in there because It's not done. But yeah, I'm going to let it do what it do. And then when I feel like it's at a level that I want, I'm going to not wash it out, shampoo it out. Correction. Shampoo it out, and then we'll be ready to install it on our wig cap, okay? So I wanted to come back to show you guys what it's looking like. It hasn't been a full 30 minutes yet, but I just want to give you guys a glimpse of what it looks like. Ooh, what you guys think? Can you see that? Looking real close to me. I know that when it's wet, it looks darker, but when we blow dry it out and look at it dry, then we'll be able to see. But I think that it's doing what it needs to do. This has a bit of brown mixed into it, so that does not, but I'm not worried about that at all. I think that that's doing exactly what it needs to do. And I think the colors that I use did an amazing job. So these are the products that we used. We used the Rich Amber, which is by Adore. This is more like a rich brownish type of copper almost. And then you have the Crimson, which is straight red, as you guys can see. And then we have our Mahogany Red, which is like a darker red, kind of close to the 99J, but a little bit more lighter. But all three of these blended together created this. And we're just waiting for it to finish doing what it's doing, and then we'll get the full view of it, okay? So as I'm looking at this, I see that it is not getting fully in the strands. It's like it's a little blonde strands that hasn't been touched. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to work the color in, because I want to make sure that it gets everywhere. Everywhere. So I'm going to put my glove on and work this color in this cuticle, okay? And we're just doing that by massaging the color in the hair. Want to make sure that every strand has been touched with the color that it's been touched by. Because when I dry this, I don't want to have to go back and re-wet it, okay? You don't want to do double work. And at this point, I'm really thinking about just pouring some of the color on the hair, because it looks like it's, or maybe that's just how it looks in the water. I don't know. Let's see. Can you guys see that as well? It doesn't look like it's all colored, does it? It looks like that is colored, but that isn't colored. So yeah, I think we're going to add some more color to it, okay? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think I want to do this one. But as I know, I have to open this up and pour it on there just to get it in there how I need it to. And we're just gonna, yep, there we go. Just gonna put that in there like that. Work that on in that hair like that. And that is gonna get us that darkness that we need, okay? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll just have to see when we dry this, okay? So drying almost coming up, okay? So we have rinsed off our closure, as you guys can see. Looking at it while it's wet, it's definitely not an accurate color, but it's semi-dry in the root area. So I think I'm gonna have to add some more red to it, because it looks more burnt orange now, honestly. But that's why we do a demo, live demos, to make the mistakes so we can correct them. So I will come back with a color correction for you guys to see the finishing touches. Or should I just let it dry first and then do it? But looking at it, it does look like it's going to be like a burnt orange or something, or a copper. So I think that I'm going to dry it and wait till it dries to see what it looks like. And I might end up applying a redder color to it. So stay tuned. So I have allowed the hair to dry, and I wanted to show you guys the color that came out. It's kind of like a copper reddish color. And then we also have our bundle here, where as you guys can see, they are not almost the same shade. They're in the range of it, but it's not where it needs to be. So we are going to add some color to it, but this time I'm just going to add it dry. So this is what I want, and it's not off. It's not really off, but I want to just make sure that it gets all in the hair. So I am going to go straight in with this one here, the Adore Tints Red. I did not use this because this is very, very red, but I want to make it red. So that's what we're about to do. I am going to use my color bowl and my color brush, and we are about to color the rest of these inches, okay? So I'm just going to pour a little bit in there of what I think I may need, and then just going to move this around. You can't really see the color yet because it is not translucent. It's very, very thick, but you guys can kind of see it's kind of red. But we're going to go straight in with this. And I do have plastic bags right here because I wanted to make sure that this did not stain or get on anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this hair color to the dry hair, and then I'm going to work it in with my fingers. And this should put that red pigment into this hair. Sorry, you guys, my breath is not catching up with my words. Yeah. So I'm just applying this dry. Just applying it dry, and I'm going to work it in. I'm actually going to open this up because I want some more of it. I'm going to get that hair very, very red. I'm working the ends first and a little bit outward from the lace, because once I go into that lace, I want to make sure that I work the color in and then just be done with it, because I don't want it to seep through the lace, because we are going to be bleaching the knots on that. So I'm going to open this up because when we did our color, it wasn't enough red. Well, it didn't touch a lot of this that's in here. So I'm going to open that up so we can get in there to get some of that color onto the hair. So we have saturated our lace with all of the red that we could possibly put on there. I think that was a good amount to just let that sit for a second. And once this is done, we're going to rinse it out. And then I'm going to see if I even need to color the knots. We got a little bit on the back, but it's still good. But I'm going to see. And then we'll get into our install, okay? So we have rinsed our color off of our closure. And as you guys can see, it is now the red that it needs to be. And you obviously can't see the color until it's dry. So we are about to dry it, and then we should compare it to see. Now, I think it should be the red that I need it to be now. But if it's not, we're going to go with it, okay? So let me blow dry her so we can get her together properly, okay? So now we are about to install our closure onto our dome cap and get into this install, because We spent a lot of time coloring and color correcting this young lady. And now that we have her where we need her to be, now it is time to get to it, okay? I'm basically measuring both sides of the 2x6 closure to match the lines here. Since this is the middle of my dome cap, that lets me know that my frontal is sitting in the middle of my wig, okay? So, like I said, I'm just going to bring this down. I'm not going to bring it all the way down. I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit to probably about like right there. And then I am going to get a T-pen. I'm going to take one of these T-pens and just stick this right here, but I want to make sure that this is lined up perfectly. No bulkiness, no anything, because when we lay this closure down, I don't want it to have any bulk, any access, any of that, because that's going to interfere with the install, okay? So I have it between right before the 7 and right after the 8. So I am comfortable with where that is. So I am going to T-pen this. I'm going to put a T-pen right there. So that is our guide. So now I'm going to go back to the back of it and T-pen the back to make sure that this is flat. Now I'm going to eventually move all of this hair out of my way so I can see what I'm doing, but I'm just giving you guys a sample of what's going on. So since these lines are in my dome cap, I am going to measure the back of this to these lines back here. Anybody wondering where this cap came from? I purchased this cap at Sam's Beauty Warehouse, which is located in Melrose Park, Illinois. They have 2 locations. They have one in Bedford, Illinois, that's on Cicero and like 87th, and then they have one on North Avenue and 9th, which is located in Melrose Park. I'm pretty sure a lot of the other local beauty supply stores may have this dome cap, but if you don't see it anywhere else, go there. They always have something in there. They never disappoint, and trust me, I'm in there all the time. I'm actually a rewards member, and I have a cosmetology discount. So all of my people that just love going in the beauty supply store. So back to the tutorial. So as you guys can see, I laid my lace down flat. You want this laid down flat so when you go in to sew it down that you have a good even coverage on both sides. So I use the lines here and also the lines that I've had here to measure out my closure to make sure that it is straight. So I'm just going to go around to make sure that this is straight. So when I get ready to sew it down, I won't have any problems. Because once you sew this down, it is down. It's down. And you will not, I mean, you can pick it back up if you like, but that's just like all of your work that you put into it is just gone. Okay, so please make sure when you're doing this, you're laying this down as flat as possible. You see how that has bubbles in it and all that stuff? It should not look like that. It should look totally flat. If you need to stretch that lace out to make sure that it's flat, do so. Don't pull it too hard because it is a lace and it will definitely rip, and you do not want your lace to rip. So please make sure when you're doing this that you're doing it to where it has enough tension to hold, but you're not breaking or ripping your lace. Okay, so I think that this is flat enough. We have where we need to go. I'm looking at both sides look even. So I think this bad baby is ready to be braided down and then sewed down. So I'm going to speed this video up because this takes a process. So we're going to braid it down and then we're going to start our sewing process. All right, our braid is in. Now we are about to sew down our closure. So I just basically go around my closure, and you need to make sure that when you're doing this, you're doing it to the point to where it is secured. So when you do that pull test, you don't have to worry about it lifting up. And you want to make sure as you're sewing this down that it is flat. So all the extra thread and everything that you're using to make this go down, you need to make sure that it is flat to perfection. No bulkiness, no any of that. Okay, so we are about to get into the sew in, but first we're going to sew our closure down. Okay, Okay, so we have sewed down our closure and now we're in the process of applying our first bundle. So you have two ways that you can do this. You can do single wefts, which means you just sew it one layer at a time, or you can do double weft, which makes the process faster and applies more hair. And with this dome cap already being lined to the sewing method, it's actually lined about an inch apart. So this will be good for doing double weft. So first I have to prep my inches for that. So we're going to go over to the sewing machine so you guys can see how to do that. So we have made it over to our sewing machine where we are going to double our wefts. So I have my longest inch, which is 22. And I am about to open up my bundle so I can prep it on the sewing machine to be sewed for my dome cap. So when you double weft, you're basically just doubling the tracks like this, and you're going to sew them together. So when you go in with your sewing needle, you're able just to keep going. Or you can do it single weft like this. This just makes it thicker and creates more coverage when you're doing that bottom level. Normally people, you might see a lot of tutorials where people may do the first bundle at the bottom and the second bundle doubled, and then that last bundle, which is close to the top, they do it at single wefts because they want it flat. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna do a full double weft for my bundle at the bottom, and then I'm gonna do a double weft for the middle bundle, but it's not gonna be all the way double weft. I think that I am gonna open it up a little bit once I get close to the top, and then my last bundle plus a little bit of that second bundle will be single wefts. Okay, so how you double weft your bundles, you just make sure that they lined up, and you make sure that your setting is where it needs to be on your sewing machine. I can definitely give you guys a tutorial on the different settings that are on the sewing machine. You have different dials, different stitch lengths, all of that, and then these are the patterns down here depending on what sewing machine you have. Okay, so we're going to get into that another time, but right now we just want to sew these weft. Okay, so your goal is to align it with this here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this right on top of each other just like that so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to align it underneath where the needle is. But I want to start it here because I want it to start at the beginning of my tracks. Okay, I'm going to get this up under here. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it this way so all of the hair won't be in the way. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start from the middle point to get it sealed, and then I'm gonna go back. So I'm gonna latch this down just like that, and we are going to clamp that down. What that does is put this in motion and put this at a still point. So I have a foot pedal that's attached to the sewing machine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold my foot down, and it is gonna move my sewing machine, pushing the hair that way. But I'm going to lift this up. As you do this, you want to make sure that your tracks stay closely together. You want to make sure they stay close together on both ends because that's going to play a role when you start stitching it on your dome cap. So this is a button here that reverses your sewing machine to go the opposite way. So it's going to go this way without holding this button, and then when you hold the button it goes back this way just to double stitch over what you did. So we're going to go back to the beginning of this, and then we're going to go back over it again. Okay, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to, as you guys can see what I just did, I'm going to lift it up so you guys can see it just went back over what I just did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lever to lift my needle up, And I'm going to place these tracks right under here to make sure that it has more coverage. So when I come back through and do this, it'll be easy sailing. So try to get a good grip on this to make sure that it's together, and then just go. We are going to fix this just a little bit because this can get looped in. So you have to watch your thread as well, okay? The needle is bouncing back and forth like this. So you want to make sure that it's hitting both tracks. I'm going to go back over it the opposite way to make sure that we got it sealed. All right, we have finished double wetting our inches, and now they are ready to be sewn on. So I'm only going to sew on the outer layer just to get that foundation. I'm going to hand stitch that one, and then I'm going to come in with the sewing machine to do the rest. But I just wanted to give you guys a close-up of what it looked like, and this is the other side of it. So this is one whole bundle sewn together, double weft on the sewing machine, and then we're gonna sew around the hairline, this one bundle, and then we're gonna do the remainder of it on the sewing machine. So as I showed you before, we have our wefts that we just sewn, and we are in the process of getting this dome cap prep to be put on the sewing machine. But first, I want to hand sew some inches to this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start here, and we're going to sew this bad baby all the way around till it comes to this side. And once we do that, then we'll be ready to put it on the sewing machine, okay? We have now finished installing our first semi bundle double widths on our dome cap around the perimeter. Now I am about to transfer this bad baby over to the sewing machine so we can finish getting her together, okay? We are concluding with our wig. I have to add 2 pieces on the side of the closure to give it its coverage. And once we close this off, we are going to style her. I want to introduce you guys to a product that you might have seen all throughout Instagram or on social media. This is my first time purchasing it, and I'm going to use it to style my wig. So we are done with our girly. We have took her off of the sewing machine, and now we are about to get her all flat ironed up. I don't know if I'm going to throw some curls into her or not, but I definitely want to straighten this hair out so that we can see what it looks like. So this is the blend from the closure. It's not as bad. It still blends in with it. It's not a full red, but who cares? We gonna rock this baby, okay? So I am about to get her together. So stay tuned for the ending result. Okay, we are about to style our wig. So I went ahead and flattened out the top already, but we are in the process of using this new product. I know you guys probably seen this on Instagram being promoted by the owner, and I've seen a lot of good reviews about it, the Femi Silk Mist. So I am going to use it on my wig. So yes, we're going to do a review to see what's to it. So let's jump into this styling. So I'm not going to do too much talking while styling. I'm just going to flatten her out a bit, probably throw some curls in because I actually have to put her on like right now. So we are going to get deeper into this tutorial with the styling a little later, but we just gonna do something real quick to throw this little baby on. Okay, y'all. I gotta give it to her. This spray is doing what it needs to do. Y'all see how slick this is? I don't even wear straight hair, but I just need to do something real quick just to throw it on because I got somewhere to go. But baby, this doing what it needs to do. We got her. I got to pull this out for y'all so y'all can see what's going on. Well, matter of fact, let me lift this baby up for you. Y'all see this? She doing what she needs to do. Doing what she needs to do, baby, okay? Okay? Turn it around, let you see it, okay? So let me go ahead and throw Miss Riding Hood on so I can get out of here. Be back in a minute. All right, so here I'm giving you guys a view of the hair being straight. The same thing I gave you guys when I was doing the tutorial. But what you didn't see on the tutorial that you see now is that the layers that I cut, you can see them all pressed out and styled. And they actually falling pretty good. Obviously, you guys know I had to do the matching eyebrows. I do have a tutorial on this on my channel if you guys want to check that out. Also, I am going to show you guys what it looks like curled. Because why would I show you what it looks like straight without showing you what it looks like curled, okay? So this is what it looks like curled. As you guys can see, I am combing them out, trying to get all of those curls and stuff in place. I'm going to give you a better view on the next clip it. So on this one, you guys can see it a bit better at a better angle. And what do you guys think? Do you think I slayed this hairstyle? I think I did. The wig is doing what it needs to do. The curls are doing what it needs to do. The style is doing what it needs to do. I love giving you guys this content. I surely hope you guys learned something. Please, 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 if you haven't already, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this content. Share it with all of your family and friends. Anybody that wants to do hair, learn how to do hair, learn how to make wigs, this video is for you. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.